Can you please, this is Sunny Negi, can you please explain what is the Higgs boson particle and what's the Higgs field? Right. So the best theory of physics that we have thus far is called quantum field theory. So according to this theory, everything that we observe is essentially an illusion. Reality as we know it is made up of fields and disturbances in these fields. So there is a photon field, there is a proton field, there is an electron field, and these fields permeate the entire universe. It's the same field everywhere. And these particles, protons, neutrons, electrons, etc., are merely localized disturbances in these fields. And it is the interaction of these various disturbances in the fields and the other fields, and it is the interaction that causes the forces that we experience, the forces of electromagnetism, the strong nuclear force, the weak nuclear force, and so on. So the entire universe is essentially comprised of fields. There are 17 fields in all. That's the standard model of physics. And there are 4 bosons. For the 17 particles there are 6 quarks, there are 6 leptons, and you have 4 bosons. And the bosons are the carriers of the forces. So according to this theory, all of these bosons should be massless. But we find that the W and Z bosons, the mediators of the weak force, actually have mass. And so to explain the fact that these bosons have mass, a new particle had to be theorized. It was in the 1960s, I believe, that Peter Higgs and a couple of other physicists hypothesized that there exists one more boson, one more particle, whose interaction with the other particles endows those particles with mass. And that is the Higgs boson. So it is the interaction of all these different fields and particles with the Higgs boson field that imbues them with mass. So certain particles interact more strongly with the Higgs field, so they are more massive. Certain particles interact less strongly with this field, so they are less massive. And particles such as the photon don't interact with the field at all. That's why they are massless. So that is the Higgs boson and the Higgs field. And this particle was the last particle of the standard model to be discovered. It was discovered in the year 2012 in the Large Hadron Collider. And particle physicists had been searching for it for a very, very long time. Journalists called it the God particle, and particle physicists called it the goddamn particle because it was so hard to find. So it's been found finally a few years ago, and so that's what it is. That's what the Higgs boson is, and that's what the Higgs field is. It's what gives the universe and its particles mass. So that's why we exist. If there was no mass, then we would not exist, and the universe would be a very different place. So that is the Higgs boson and the Higgs field.